Right now, as you're watching this video, there's a massive construction project happening in the Philippines that almost nobody is talking about. We're talking about a 407-hectare artificial island rising from Manila Bay, bigger than Monaco, larger than the Vatican City, and it's going to completely transform the Philippine economy by 2028. But here's the crazy part. This isn't just another real estate development. This is the Philippines' answer to Singapore's Marina Bay, Dubai's Palm Islands, and China's Shenzhen, all rolled into one. And if you've been thinking about investing, relocating, or just understanding where Southeast Asia is headed in the next decade, you need to know about this. I'm going to show you the blueprints, the money behind it, the controversies, and why this could either be the smartest move the Philippines has ever made or the biggest gamble in its history. Let's dive in. So what exactly is this project? It's called New Manila Bay City of Pearl, and it's being developed by a partnership between the Philippine government and China Communications Construction Company, one of the largest infrastructure companies in the world. Here are the numbers that will blow your mind. 407 hectares of reclaimed land. That's roughly 1,000 acres. A $15 billion investment, making it one of the largest infrastructure projects in Philippine history. Completion target of 2028, just 4 years away. Expected to generate 200,000 jobs during construction alone. And here's the kicker. Once completed, it could house up to 300,000 residents and workers. The location is strategic. Right in Manila Bay, between the Mall of Asia complex and the Manila-Cavite Expressway. If you've been to Manila, you know this area. It's already one of the most developed parts of Metro Manila, but this project is going to take it to a completely different level. Think of it as creating a brand new city from scratch, right next to the capital. Now, what exactly are they building on this massive artificial island? This isn't just going to be residential towers. The master plan includes a central business district with Grade A office buildings designed to attract multinational corporations and BPO companies. A financial hub to rival Makati and Bonifacio Global City. Luxury residential condominiums with premium amenities. An integrated resort and casino complex because the Philippines wants a piece of that Macau and Singapore action. A massive shopping and entertainment district. Green spaces and parks, about 30% of the total area. World-class hotels and convention centers. And state-of-the-art infrastructure with smart city technology. Basically, they're trying to build a mini Singapore right in the heart of Manila Bay. The architectural designs look absolutely insane. We're talking about skyscrapers that would rival anything in Hong Kong or Shanghai. Glass and steel towers with sustainable design elements. Wide boulevards with dedicated bike lanes. An integrated transportation system connecting to the rest of Metro Manila. And here's what makes it even more ambitious. They're planning to make this a green, sustainable city with solar panels, rainwater harvesting, and advanced waste management systems. But let's talk about why the Philippine government is so excited about this project. Number 1, economic growth. The Philippines has been one of the fastest growing economies in Asia over the past decade, but Manila is bursting at the seams. The current business districts like Makati, BGC, and Ortigas are running out of space. Property prices have skyrocketed. Traffic is a nightmare. This new city solves that problem by creating an entirely new central business district with room to grow. Number 2, job creation. During construction, we're talking about 200,000 jobs. After completion, potentially 500,000 permanent jobs in offices, retail, hospitality, and services. For a country where unemployment and underemployment are still major issues, this is huge. Number 3, tourism boost. The Philippines has been trying to position itself as a premier tourist destination in Southeast Asia. Having a world-class integrated resort and modern skyline will help compete with Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia. They're literally trying to put Manila on the map as a global destination city. Number 4, tax revenue. Once this city is operational, the tax revenue from businesses, property taxes, and tourism will be massive. We're talking billions of pesos annually that can be reinvested into infrastructure, education, and healthcare. Number 5, international prestige. This is about national pride. The Philippines wants to show the world that it can undertake mega projects on par with its neighbors. It's a statement that says, we're a modern, developed nation ready to compete on the global stage. Now let's talk about the Chinese connection because this is where things get interesting and controversial. China Communications Construction Company, or CCCC, is the main contractor for this project. This is the same company that built artificial islands in the South China Sea, constructed ports across Africa and Asia as part of China's Belt and Road Initiative, and has been involved in megaprojects from Sri Lanka to Kenya. The financing structure is complex. Part of it comes from Philippine government bonds and public-private partnerships. A significant portion is financed through Chinese loans and investments. Some funding from private Filipino-Chinese business groups. And there's also expected revenue from pre-selling commercial and residential spaces. Here's where the controversy kicks in. Critics are concerned about debt-trap diplomacy. They point to Sri Lanka, which had to lease its Hambantota port to China for 99 years after being unable to repay Chinese loans. They worry the Philippines might end up in a similar situation. There are also national security concerns because Manila Bay has strategic military importance. Having a Chinese company control a major piece of real estate in this area makes some people nervous, especially given the ongoing disputes in the South China Sea. Environmental groups are also sounding the alarm. Manila Bay has been severely polluted for decades. The government has been trying to clean it up, but critics say reclamation will destroy marine ecosystems, affect fish populations that local communities depend on, potentially worsen flooding in surrounding areas, and damage what's left of Manila Bay's natural beauty. Then there's the displacement issue. Fisherfolk communities along Manila Bay have been there for generations. Where do they go when this megacity rises from the water? Some have been promised relocation, but many are skeptical about whether they'll receive fair compensation. But supporters of the project have their counterarguments. On the debt issue, they say the Philippines has maintained a manageable debt-to-GDP ratio. The project is expected to generate enough revenue to pay for itself, and unlike Sri Lanka, the Philippines has a much larger and more diversified economy. On environmental concerns, proponents argue that modern reclamation technology is far more advanced and environmentally conscious than in the past. The project includes environmental impact assessments and mitigation measures. The cleaned-up Manila Bay will actually be better for the environment than its current polluted state. And 30% of the island will be green space, which is more than many existing business districts. On the Chinese influence issue, defenders point out that Chinese companies build infrastructure all over the world, including in the US and Europe. The Philippines maintains sovereignty over the land regardless of who builds it. And Filipino engineers and workers are heavily involved in the project, so it's not purely a Chinese operation. Let me give you some context by comparing this to similar projects in the region. Singapore's Marina Bay development took decades and transformed Singapore into a global financial hub. Today, Marina Bay is worth hundreds of billions of dollars and is one of the most iconic skylines in the world. Dubai's Palm Islands created entirely new luxury real estate markets and became a global tourism magnet, even though they faced environmental controversies similar to what Manila Bay City is facing now. China's Shenzhen went from a fishing village to a megacity of 13 million people in just 40 years, becoming China's tech hub. Malaysia's Forest City is a massive reclamation project with mixed results, struggling to attract the expected number of residents, which is a cautionary tale. And Indonesia is literally building a new capital city from scratch in Borneo, showing that Southeast Asian nations are thinking big about urban development. So the question is, can the Philippines pull off what Singapore and Dubai did, or will it end up like some of the less successful projects? Here's my analysis of what needs to happen for this to succeed. Infrastructure connectivity is crucial. The city needs to be seamlessly connected to the rest of Metro Manila through mass transit, not just roads. If people spend 3 hours in traffic getting there, it won't work. They need to build that subway line, expand the LRT system, and maybe even add ferry services across the bay. Attracting anchor tenants is essential. They need major multinational corporations to commit to moving their offices there. If companies like Google, Microsoft, or major BPO firms set up headquarters, others will follow. Without those anchor tenants, it's just empty buildings. The residential component needs to be affordable enough for the people working there. If only ultra-rich people can afford to live there, it becomes a ghost town during off hours. Mixed-income housing is key. Creating a unique identity matters. It can't just be another business district. It needs cultural attractions, world-class restaurants, entertainment, and a vibe that makes people want to be there. Singapore's Marina Bay succeeded because it's not just offices, it's an experience. Transparent governance is critical. With this much money involved, corruption could derail everything. The government needs to ensure that funds are used properly and that local communities benefit, not just developers and politicians. Let me share some insider perspectives. I spoke with a Filipino real estate developer who's cautiously optimistic. He said the demand for premium office and residential space in Metro Manila is definitely there. Companies are running out of room in BGC and Makati. If this project delivers world-class infrastructure and amenities, businesses will come. But the execution has to be flawless. Any delays, cost overruns, or quality issues could scare away investors. An environmental scientist I talked to raised concerns about the long-term sustainability. She mentioned that Manila Bay's water quality is still poor, and putting hundreds of thousands of people on a reclaimed island with inadequate sewage treatment could make things worse. The project needs cutting-edge environmental technology, not just basic infrastructure. A geopolitical analyst pointed out that this project is part of a larger pattern of Chinese economic influence in Southeast Asia. He doesn't think it's necessarily bad, but the Philippines needs to be smart about the terms. Make sure Filipino interests are protected, ensure technology transfer so Filipinos learn from the project, and avoid getting over-leveraged with debt. Now let's talk about what this means for everyday Filipinos and potential investors. If you're a young professional in the Philippines, this could mean more job opportunities in your own country instead of having to work abroad. New businesses mean new career paths. A modern city with better infrastructure could mean a higher quality of life. If you're thinking about investing in Philippine real estate, the areas surrounding this new city will likely see property values increase. Nearby cities like Parañaque, Las Piñas, and parts of Cavite could become hot markets. But timing is everything. Get in too early, and you're taking a big risk. Wait too long, and you miss the opportunity. If you're in the BPO or tech industry, this could be a game changer. Modern office spaces with better infrastructure could attract more international companies to outsource to the Philippines. That means more jobs and potentially higher salaries as companies compete for talent. For overseas Filipino workers, this might eventually provide opportunities to come home. If the project succeeds and creates the hundreds of thousands of jobs promised, maybe working abroad won't be the only option for a better life. Here's my honest prediction about what will happen. The project will likely face delays. Almost every mega project does. That 2028 timeline is probably optimistic. More realistically, we're looking at 2030 or beyond for full completion. Some parts will succeed spectacularly. The commercial and office components will probably do well because there's genuine demand. Other parts might struggle. The residential component might be slower to fill up, especially if prices are too high for average Filipinos. Environmental and social issues will continue to be contentious. Expect ongoing protests, legal challenges, and media coverage about displaced communities and environmental damage. The project will probably be scaled back in some ways. As challenges emerge, some of the more ambitious elements might get cut or postponed. Long term, if they get it right, this could actually work. In 20 years, this could be Manila's crown jewel, a thriving business district that drives economic growth. But it requires smart management, transparency, and a genuine commitment to making it work for all Filipinos, not just wealthy developers and foreign investors. Here's what I think you should take away from all this. First, the Philippines is thinking big, and that's a good thing. For too long, the country has been held back by inadequate infrastructure and lack of ambition. This project shows that Philippine leaders are willing to take bold steps. Second, execution matters more than vision. The plans look amazing, but can they actually pull it off? That remains to be seen. The next few years will be critical. Third, these kinds of megaprojects are always controversial. There are legitimate concerns about debt, environment, and social impact. Those concerns deserve to be heard and addressed. But there's also potential for massive positive impact if done right. Fourth, this is part of a broader transformation happening across Southeast Asia. Cities are growing, economies are modernizing, and infrastructure is being built at an unprecedented scale. The Philippines doesn't want to be left behind. And finally, whether you're Filipino or not, if you're interested in Asia's future, you should be paying attention to projects like this. They're reshaping the region's economic and geopolitical landscape. So that's the story of the Philippines' billion-dollar secret project, the new Manila Bay city of Pearl. An artificial island bigger than Monaco, a $15 billion bet on the future, and a project that could either transform the Philippines into a modern economic powerhouse or become a cautionary tale of overambition and poor planning. What do you think? Is this the smartest move the Philippines has ever made, or is it a reckless gamble? Are you excited about the possibilities or worried about the risks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you're Filipino, I especially want to hear from you. Would you want to live or work in this new city? And if you're from another country, does your city have similar mega projects happening? If you found this video informative, hit that like button. If you want to see more deep dives into Asian development projects, economic trends, and future cities, subscribe and turn on notifications. I've got videos coming up about Indonesia's new capital city, Vietnam's tech boom, and Thailand's Eastern Economic Corridor. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one where we explore more of Asia's incredible transformation. Peace.